Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us at Leadership Live. My name is Tracy Turnberg. I want to welcome you back. I hope you had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. I hope everyone was safe and did the responsible thing and took care of themselves. So today's chat is going to be completely different. Today at Leaders Chat Live, we're not going to have just network marketing leadership. We're going to be exploring all aspects of leadership. Today is our first dive into social media and what that looks like for your business. So we're super excited to have today's guest. Now, before we do that, as always, if you haven't done so already, type in chat in the comments, and that is going to get the messenger bot to add you to our broadcast list, so you never miss a live. At least you're going to know when we do go live. Also, make sure that you follow us either on Facebook or Instagram, whatever your platform that you're at. And then last, but probably the most important, is make sure you go over to YouTube. And this is where you're going to get all the archives. This is where it's going to be organized. You're going to be able to search things a little bit easier. Make sure you like and click the bell over there because that's where all the additional content is going to be added. So make sure you're on over there. So that was fast, probably. You gotta pick up the pace today. It's been an exciting weekend, and I'm really excited about today's guest. Because I think it's a topic that we all need to hear about, which is social media and how to use that. So today, our guest is a social influencer, Sara Anderson, and it is a Pretty Penny Girl is her Instagram account that you need to go follow because it's a great example of how to build a social media account. So without further ado, Sara, thank you so much for joining us here on Leaders Chat Live today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Did you have a good holiday weekend?
I did, spent with family, so it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. I mean, that sounds great. Yeah, ours was just kick back. We had a couple thunderstorms, some nice weather, and just was able to relax a little bit on this crazy COVID holiday weekend.
Yes, I'm glad you got to relax a little bit.
Well, Sara, a lot of people probably don't know who you are that are watching. And I think you're one of the hidden gems out there for us to as a resource. And so I'm super excited that you decided to join us today and share, which I think everybody wants to know more of, is how to use social media in a way that works and it gains followers and gains credibility and all those different things. And I hope to explore a lot of that during today's chat. So I want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
But as we get
Thank you for having me.
I just share with everybody your story. Like, how did you get involved in social media? What was the reason that you got involved in it, and how did you start to monetize that and be able to use it to actually as a platform for yourself?
Okay. So I would say about 6 years ago, I live in Utah, and so there was a watch company that was based out of Utah as well. And at the time, I didn't have a ton of followers on Instagram or anything. I had more followers on Pinterest, and that was a platform that they really wanted to grow on. So they had reached out to me and just said, "Hey, if we sent you a couple watches, would you be willing to host a giveaway on your Instagram and on Pinterest so we could kind of grow our Pinterest?" And so I agreed to that. And then we ran the giveaway. And then after I had done that initial trade with that brand, I started to get messages from other brands reaching out to me saying, "Hey, would you post this on your Instagram if I sent you this product?" And so at first it started out just as trade because I didn't have a lot of followers, and most of the time on social media, your followers are based on how much money you make a lot of times. And so starting out, I did trade, and then it just kind of grew from there. And I was like, wow, like I didn't know you could, start working with brands or make these relationships or even make money off of them. So I decided to create a blog and start working on Instagram. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed, and I started working with more brands and then started making money, and it just kind of blew up from there. But it's been a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. It's been good.
So when now your choice of platform right now is Instagram, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Why Instagram over? I mean, is it an age demographic thing for you, or is it just a preference?
Um, I guess a little bit of both. I feel like since I'm a mom, I like fashion, I like travel, I like all things kid and mom. I do have a younger demographic, and I feel like a lot of the younger demographic is based on Instagram. So I spend most of my time on Instagram just because that's what I prefer. It's fun to use. I love using the stories, I love posting, and then I appeal to the right demographic for me.
Okay. Do you use Facebook at all?
I do. I don't use it as much as I should, but I usually just share my posts from Instagram, or if I have a new blog post, I'll kind of update there.
Yeah. Well, which is I think that's what a lot of people do, isn't it? I
Hmm.
mean, that's just kind of the
Yeah.
way you can't. I don't believe it, if you're watching. I don't believe that you can master, you know, all different platforms. I think you've just got to find
Hmm.
one that is like your niche and the one that you prefer, and drive that as much as you can, and then
It's
kind of go
true.
off into the other ones because they're all so different. And Facebook's the biggest. I think if you take Instagram and Pinterest
Mhm.
and TikTok, they probably don't even equal the amount of people that are on Facebook.
Facebook is huge. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're focused on Facebook, you can't go wrong there.
Exactly. And it's like you said, demographic. You got a younger demographic on Instagram.
Hmm.
Facebook definitely has an older demographic.
Hmm.
That's where grandpas and grandmas are on, and aunts and uncles, and I mean, some of them are starting to get on Instagram. But then the kids, my kids always tease me because as soon as you get on Instagram, they're off on the Snapchat,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and then they're like, as soon as you infiltrate Snapchat, they go off to Visco, or they just keep going to all these different avoid the parent social media platforms. And I think the trend will get there where more people are becoming Instagram
Hmm.
users than and I do think it's a different platform. I mean, Instagram definitely is a picture
It
um,
is.
driven. You just don't throw out a comment. It's a picture driven thing, and that's not for
Hmm.
everybody. So
It's true.
yeah. Now, one thing that I definitely want to talk to you about it is the strategy that you've
Hmm.
implemented. Because I'm sure in the beginning you did things wrong. You didn't
Oh, yes,
post you
all the
didn't
time.
post correctly, and there's things that you learn because currently right now you've got like 26,000 followers on
Mhm.
just on Instagram, and that is an incredible number. Your Christmas card list must be absolutely huge, and so it's like we'd all love to have that number of followers
Mhm.
in our network marketing businesses as lead generation pool. So how is it that you grew it? In the very beginning, you made some mistakes. What are like the two or three
Mhm.
big mistakes that you made that you really want to tell people to try to avoid right now?
I would say in the end, I mean, in the beginning, I obviously made so many mistakes. And I feel like I still make mistakes. I just kind of have to constantly change and learn. But in the beginning, I feel like I just kind of would throw these brands in people's faces instead of really connecting and showing them my story behind the brand that I'm trying to promote, if that makes sense. So, one thing that I've tried to do different that I feel like has really been successful and has worked is I tell more of my story instead of trying to market to my followers. So I'll say, like right now, I'm working with a brand and I have like a meal plan and everything. But I am kind of like telling my journey or story behind why I am doing this instead of just saying, here, this is great. You should buy it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because
So just kind of, yeah.
I think a lot of us make that mistake of just going like, "Ooh, I'm just gonna throw out an offer and everybody should just go buy
Hmm.
it." And they're like, "Well, why should I? I mean, I don't need it. I don't know anything about it. Why should I go do it?" Right?
Hmm.
And so when you try to connect with people, you say share your story. I mean, what does that look like for a social influencer to say, okay, what's your thought process? I've got this new widget. I got these AirPods now, and I want to market these. How would you give us an example of how you might use that in your platform?
So if I were marketing AirPods, one, I love AirPods, but I would share on my stories, like I would be using them while I am talking on my story saying, oh my gosh, I just got these AirPods, maybe even do an unboxing when I got them. And then just constantly, I think, be sharing it in a genuine way. So like I'm working out, saying I love working out with my AirPods because it tunes everything out. Just kind of keep showing it, and then people will be like, oh, like I have a question about that, or I want to know more, because it shows that you're actually using the product and that you like it, but you're also incorporating that into their daily life. And
Right.
it also shows your readers how they can use it in their life.
Right. So you just make a connection, and I always look at this like if you watch Apple commercials, I'm an Apple guy. I like Apple.
Yes.
But if you watch Apple commercials, their marketing platform is like how we're going to make your life better with this
Yes.
product. They never
Very
really
true.
talk about the product being boosted and the product
Mm-hmm.
being they put a new camera in the phone. They don't show you the specs of the camera. They show you this entire video was shot on this iPhone, and they show you this incredible quality of video where other companies like to come and say, oh, we're better than Apple because we got one more megapixel, or we have it's all technical
It's
stuff.
true.
And for me, I'm really attracted to the how's it going to impact my life.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
true.
I don't think people really look at it that way. And they say like, look, I sell product. Here's my product. Buy it. And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'm confused why they're so confused why people don't just up and buy their product.
I know marketing, how Apple does, is genius. I think it's the best way to market.
Yeah. And they figured it out. I know the Steve Jobs story is great if you've never read
Oh,
or
yes.
researched it. But he
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot when he left Apple. When he came back, he was a totally different marketing person with the same brilliant mind. And so, to me, it's like you just got to take that for what it is. The ability to
Mm-hmm.
tell a story and to make people feel connected to it is amazing to me.
Yeah, I think it's very important because people can tell when you're being genuine and when you're not.
Yeah, yeah. I think they know when you're trying to be sold
Mm-hmm.
and when you're trying to share. And a
Oh,
share
yes.
is very organic. It's very genuine, and that's what I think. I love your Instagram account. We're going to show that in a bit because I think it just speaks to the demographic that you're going after. Um,
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
yeah, if you're going after the Sunday afternoon hardcore football fan, probably not going to be
Probably not.
the place to search. But for the group that you're after, I think it's so well done, and I just love the fact that how you've laid it out and stuff. And we're going to talk about that because I think the strategy is so important on how you post, and
Mm-hmm.
you must give that a lot of consideration, don't you, before you just throw a picture up?
Yes. I mean, I feel like there's a lot that goes into planning my feed and what I want to post and how I want to say things. So, I mean, there's so many apps out there that you can use to kind of plan what you want to do and plan your story. So,
Do you do
we
you
can
use
talk
do
about
you use an app for that, or you just
So yes, I one of my favorites, or I could go over a couple. I use the app called Unum. It's UNUM. That's one of my favorites just because I like to plan out my feed, but I know Later is really good and Planoly is really good as well.
okay? Now I've heard of Planoly, and the later one I've never heard of.
I like that one as well. It's kind of the same thing. You can arrange your feed and then switch the images around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want people to think they need to be super crazy anal about
No.
trying to post or thinking that their strategy has got to be like well thought out, where they don't engage. That's
Hmm.
a negative, and I think a lot of people say, "Well, I'm scared of social media, so I don't even want to start." It's not that. You're going to make
No.
mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to say, "I wish I wouldn't have posted that," or "I wish I would have done it, a different style or
Hmm.
time or whatever." Starting is like the key thing, and that's even in our industry. People
Yes.
say, "Well, I'm going to wait till June 1st to get started."
Hmm.
Why? I mean, it's like you're just giving yourself 2 weeks of an excuse not to get started. And so it's just an excuse maker. And I think it's the same thing with social media. It's like, listen, you're not going to ever keep up and know everything about social
Hmm.
media. It changes way too fast. The algorithm, the options, the platform, the look of it, it just changes. And so you got to be able to like kind of adapt with the times, right?
Yes. I don't know. I am the type of person that I am never up to date on what the algorithm is doing because it is constantly changing. So I also feel like it's important to just kind of do your own thing in a sense. Like stay true to who you are, but always keep posting content and doing what works for you.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna bring on your beautiful Instagram account here. So now, if you're watching, you need. Is it okay if people go follow you, Sarah?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So go follow Sarah. It's a pretty penny girl on Instagram. Just search it up and you'll find it. It's this pretty little profile you see here. And I think that's the first thing is that we need to talk about that I think is important is the bio.
Mhm.
Take us through and just talk about why you made this the bio the way that you did. Did you gave it some thought? I assume.
Yes. So I feel like it kind of took me a while to really nail down what I wanted to have in my bio. And so I just kind of, when people come to my page, before they even look at my feed, if they look at my bio, I wanted them to get an idea of what they were going to see in my stories on my page. So just setting expectations so people know what they're going to get from me. So I just put kind of where I'm from. So I live in Salt Lake City, and then I put living life in color because I love fun walls with color. All of my photos have lots of different colors, rainbows. So I just have a very bright feed. So I wanted people to know, oh, well, she's a colorful feed. And then I just kind of did fashion, travel, lifestyle, and happiness. So those are kind of the things I touch on and go over in my blog and in my feed. And then I am a new mom. I have a 10-month-old little girl. So I just put mom to Rowan and then
Congratulations.
wife to Colin. So
Very good. Congratulations on that. I'm sure that's changed your
thanks.
life in a way that
It's
and
been the best.
yeah, and as you go through your social media feed, you definitely know that you're a new mom because you're a very proud new mom, aren't you?
Yes, definitely.
Which is a I wish sidebar. I wish social media existed when my kids were young,
Oh,
or just cell phones. Because listen, we didn't take pictures the way that we take pictures today. Because we had to take a picture, then go pay to have it developed and see if it turned
oh,
out and all
yes.
this. Now you just keep, how many pictures a day do you take? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
back then you might have
So
taken
many.
2 a week. Now you take 50 a day, and you're like, yeah, you don't use any of them. Um, so congratulations on that. So in the industry of network marketing, the bio here should really be a little bit kind of the format that you're using here is, and I'm on my phone here. I don't know if you can see that. This is just my phone going through her Instagram account. So forgive me for looking down here, but you're going to go through your bio is where you're from, maybe what you do, what your passions are.
Mhm.
It's not going to be I sell this product probably. At least it shouldn't be, right?
Yes, I mean, I would talk about what you do, but I don't know. That's where people connect. And so it's like, oh, well, this is what I'm going to expect from you. This is what you like. This is what I'm going to be seeing in your feed. So just make it personal, some way people connect with you, but also know they can you.
Right. So you're going to do it in a way that for me is like, why do I want to scroll down and go through their feed, right? Like
Mhm.
create that curiosity. Like this is why I'm here. Like you don't buy Sports Illustrated magazine to get beauty tips,
No.
right? So it's like the cover is said, okay, there's a sports guy on the cover, a sports athlete of whatever gender. That's what this magazine is going to be about. But you don't go pick up a fashion magazine and expect to read about sports. So
It's true.
so this here is kind of like, okay, this is like today's new magazine is like, this is a Pretty Penny Girl magazine, and this is what you can expect to get by going through this profile,
Yes,
right?
perfect.
So so that's the number one thing, or a very important thing, is get your bio correct, and make it look nice, and obviously emoji is a big deal.
No, I just used them because I liked them, but you don't have to have them.
Okay. So, but they make it fun, right? A little bit more
They make it
personality.
fun. Yes.
So using smiley faces over and over and over is probably not the best thing. Um, So here is Sarah's feed, and you can see when she said she likes colors. It is to me, this is a very beautiful feed. I look at it and I just go, wow, you've nailed like a plan. You have strategized and you've been thoughtful in this, and I'm sure you've taken things and deleted them off of there because they didn't look good after the fact. And so it's just very very strong. And what's the importance for a social influencer and some people on social media to I don't know, is it called a theme? Is that what you would call it, to have a theme to your color theme? Is
Yes.
that important?
So I know, I would say yes and no. I would say it also depends on personal opinion. So I sometimes base if I'm going to follow someone or not, like on the way their feed looks. I like it to be aesthetically pleasing. So I go and all of the images have the same filter or they're edited the same way or they have like the same color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I try to do with mine. Like it's taken me quite a while to really nail down my color scheme and the fact that I like color throughout my feed. So it never used to be this way. And then I just kind of decided to really run with it and it's really worked for me. But I think like with the Noni page, I know we're trying to go with like the bright white. And with other company pages, they do different color schemes or sometimes they fade between colors. So it just kind of all depends on what you want to do, but know that it does play a part in aesthetics and then people following you.
And it's probably more important as you get a bigger following than when you're sitting with 500 or 600 people, right?
Mm-hmm. I would
As you're,
also, yes,
it just as people
sorry.
start to get bigger accounts. And I think it's very important, and how often do you post on your Instagram page, not stories but actual page?
Mm-hmm. So I used to post a lot more. Since I had Rowan, it's died down a little bit. So I usually try and post a couple days a week. I know now that it's not a big deal to have a post every single day up. So it's not as important just because I know sometimes people get a little overwhelmed. So I would say post, I would say I try to do like 2 to 3 times a week, but always, sometimes I don't get there.
Yeah, and just by looking at your posts, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, um, these are purposeful posts, right? I don't see just a lunch picture. Random. I don't see a random. You're at Walmart and you just saw a line and you took a picture and you posted it. This is a very thought out layout and page.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
so did you do that at one time? Did you take weird pictures and just random stuff and just not do that anymore?
If you scroll back far enough before I started doing the whole Instagram and influencer thing, I would post daily things. And I used to do it a lot more, like things of my house or, what I was doing that day. But I guess my Instagram feed, since stories came out, it's kind of changed. So I post more on my feed, like outfit posts or sponsored posts or family things. And then on my stories, I share more of like the day to day life. Or like if I was at Walmart and saw something, I would probably put that on my story.
Right. So, and I don't want people to think that being strategic in their posting requires weeks and months in advance thinking.
No.
It literally is, okay, why am I posting this?
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to a social guy one time and he said, just ask why 3 times. And so you take a picture of AirPods and you're like, I'm gonna post this, like I'm gonna flex I got my AirPods, right? And there he goes, why? Well, because I love them. Why? Because they really work well and the sound's great and they charge well. He goes, why? Oh, there's my AirPods popping up. And he's just like, why? And then you get down to the point that it's because the product makes my life better. And it was just like asking why 3 times really makes that post purposeful to the person that's going to see it versus just that flex picture of, here, look, I got new AirPods today.
No, that's a great way to think about it.
And so when you post, like your last post here, let's just go to your last post, and you're here with all your stuff here, um, and you're on a exercise journey now, right?
Hmm.
And so when you post something, are you saying, okay, let's go take an exercise picture? Like, you planning that out, or you're like, I'm exercising, so I take a picture? I mean, how much thought are
So
you giving to it?
So this one took a little more thought because I had wanted a specific image. So my husband, he usually takes all of my images. So this was something that I went and shot and then I edited the background. Um, but
Okay,
a
so
lot of the time,
so you don't have all these colorful walls around Utah, is what you're saying?
there are a bunch, but I couldn't find one that day. So I used an app and edited the background.
All right, secrets exposed here. Instagram's a big lie. Um, so, but you took the picture because you had something that you wanted to say, correct?
Yes.
And so you're like, okay, I need an image that's going to go along with the message that I want to deliver today,
Yes.
right? And I think a lot of people like to do it the backwards. They take a picture, then they try to figure out something to say with the picture.
Hmm.
That's a lot harder, isn't it? I mean, because comments to me they really are important in Instagram.
Hmm. I would say for me, it's a lot easier to think of an image with the story that I want to tell rather than trying to create a story around an image.
Perfect. And so in sales and network marketing, um, you should try to figure out the story first, and then say, let's take an image that's going to help me portray that lifestyle that I'm trying to get across, or the benefit of the product that I'm trying to get across, right?
Yes.
I do think a lot of people like to just take a picture of a product and go, ask me questions. And I don't think that's the.
Yeah.
I don't, to me, that's really, you're really underselling, doing a disservice to the
Hmm.
product, to your business, to your opportunity, to the opportunity to create a conversation.
Yes.
And I don't know why people do that. I guess it's just they don't know, and they're excited maybe. And I think everyone needs to pump their brakes on sometimes social media and go, let's think about it. Do you do that? Do you come up with a concept and then let it sit for a bit and then go, now it's a good idea because it's marinated a little bit and it makes sense?
Yes. So usually when I am planning out, well, I don't plan all day long. It's really not super intensive when I'm planning or coming up with things. So if I have an idea, I brainstorm for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, like, okay, what do I want to do? Sometimes if I even have a specific in mind, I'll go look for things like on Pinterest or different places on Instagram just for inspiration. It's fun to kind of see different inspiration images or what other people are doing. And then I kind of brainstorm ideas and then I think about it, kind of come up with a concept and then shoot or go from there. Like shoot images and then kind of see it come to life. So it's fun to go from like a brainstorming to like shooting to see it actually be posted. For
Right.
me, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that's why you're successful, right? It's fun, and I think that shows.
It
I
is.
mean, all of your pictures are happy. I haven't gone through all of them. There's what? How many different posts do you have? A lot. Um,
I think, yeah,
yeah,
over a thousand.
you got over 1,000. I didn't go through them all, but all of your posts have they're positive, they're happy, they are colorful, but they're family oriented, or they're
Hmm.
purposeful, and I just love that. Now,
Thanks.
one thing that I think a lot of people, I know I don't use, and so I'm gonna play stupid on this, is stories, the Instagram stories.
Hmm.
That is a lot of your like life, your day in day out life stuff. Is that how you use it?
Yes. So I kind of think of it as stories is a great way to share like your behind the scenes. So if you're looking at my feed, like this is the my best foot forward. My feed is like when I'm looking the best, when all of my images look the best. But stories is almost kind of like you get to see a peek into my daily life. You get to see like what I'm into, what shows I'm watching, like what products I'm buying. So you get more of a behind the scenes taste of like what the person you're following. So you connect.
Right. And I know stories are a big thing right now, and I think there's more stories being posted than there are actually posts on Instagram,
Hmm.
because
I
people
agree.
post their story 15 times a day, and they might only post their Instagram once or twice a week
Yeah.
to their I don't know the technical term, to their page or
Hmm.
to their main thing, and so it is becoming more of a thing.
It
Um,
is.
Now you've got yours organized in a way that I think is number one, it's very easy to follow what you're getting, and but it's also very I think it's brilliant the way it's done. And for example, you just going, these are all of Sarah's stories that I'm scrolling through here, all different things. From you do a lot of try-ons for fashion
Mhm.
brands, you do hair stuff, you do what's in your hospital bag. Is that was that for Michelle? I'll call you back. The hospital bag is probably because I'm looking pregnancy, and then baby finds is
Yes.
probably during the pregnancy time, right?
Yes.
Um, so this is like this just shows that a social influencer is a real person, and they have a life outside of the fashion posts that you see.
Hmm.
But one thing I think that we could do better at in our industry is to use our travel, um, our events and things like that to organize those trips so they don't get lost in 1,400 posts. And so you can actually say, okay, here's Disneyland, and then this is all your, I don't know how many you have, your 50 different stories that you had from your Disneyland trip,
Hmm.
and then you can go through that and you can create this lifestyle of what a trip is, and what our network marketing world is, and things of that nature. That's kind of the new trend in stories, isn't it?
Yes. And I think one thing as you look at my page, like it's so important, just leave your highlights up. So create a highlight for the trip that you're going on or the product that you want to feature. And while you're on the trip, constantly be adding to it. Or if you talk about a product a lot, like save the highlight and constantly be adding to it because people
So
will go through.
these are the highlights here that they're zipping back and
Yeah.
forth. Okay, so those are your story highlights.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can save them on there so they'll stay. So like when we went to Disneyland, that was a few years ago, but people can go back and say, "Oh, I want to know what you did at Disneyland," or "I want to know what you ate while you were there," so it'll give me an idea of what I want to do there.
Right.
So it's just constant inspiration or a place for people to be referred to or to get knowledge from.
Yeah, and so for us, I think the translation there for us, as far as in network marketing in the field, is that would be a great conversation tool to be able to say, this is my trip that I took at a conference, or reward trip, and here is Hawaii. Here is just, and then you have 8, 9, 10 different events. Like you've got here, Disneyland, Universal Studios, Venice Beach, probably all the same vacation, right? The same trip,
Mhm. It
but it
was.
looks like different, like totally different experiences. It wasn't just that you did that all in a single day, which you might have, and
Yes.
more than likely you went to Disneyland, you spent all day in line.
Yes.
And so, and I don't want to get into technical aspects like, okay, how do you save it and that kind of thing. That's
Yes.
probably a different conversation, a different training, a different resource altogether. But the marketing aspect of that, do you have an example, or do you have does that pay dividends 6 months down the road when you had that experience, and then people see something that you did or you liked? Is that coming back and helping you via your platform?
Yes. So my most recent trip, we took a trip to Hawaii last year and it was really fun. We stayed at some really awesome places. I shared everything that we ate and I have had so many questions or like messages being like people saying, "I saw you went to Hawaii a while ago. Like, where did you stay? Or what was your favorite beach? I saw you went to this shrimp place and you said you really loved it. Will you tell me where it was?" So that was one thing that I have seen so much return in. because I've been able to refer people to places we stayed or what we did, our favorite activities. So I think it pays off to have them
Yeah.
and have
So
highlights.
yeah. So the biggest thing in our industry is we have to create conversations. And you never know when a conversation is going to be created. And you don't need to just be flexing all the time saying, here, buy my product, qualify
Mm-hmm.
for my free trip. Just like, because that gets really old if you're not
It
involved,
does.
right? And so people kind of tend to unfollow you, or you just become white noise in their world. Um,
Yes.
where if you can do something like here's this Hawaii feed playing, and it is something that's going to create a conversation like, listen, you went to Hawaii. Where did you stay? How did you like it? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
go? And for us in the industry, that creates a huge conversation for us. Be saying, like, I stayed at one of the nicest resorts in Maui, and I didn't pay a thing because the company paid for the entire thing. And that's a way for us to have a conversation without trying to solicit one from them and knock
Mm-hmm.
on their door and have that. So it's kind of an organic way to be able to generate leads.
It is. And I mean, if I was an outsider and saw that you stayed at this place, I would instantly want to ask a question like, well, how did you stay there? Or what did you do to get to stay there for free? Or I want to see what your room looked like because it sounds like it was at a really nice place.
Right. Yeah, they kind of want to live vicariously through you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And once you live vicariously through somebody long enough, I think you get so fed up that you start to take steps to get that lifestyle.
Yes.
But I don't think anybody likes to be like, flexed on all the time and just like, look what I've got,
No.
you don't have, because that works the opposite way. People don't want to follow people like that. They want to see true, authentic lifestyle,
Hmm.
and social media is that avenue to be able to show that. And so I agree with you 100%. And I do think, now when you go to places, obviously you're sitting here, you're tagging places. Are you hashtagging and doing all that stuff to kind of create more playing off where you're at, and whoever might be searching up Haleiwa and trying to figure out if they should go there? And does that play into your marketing strategy at all?
Yes. So if I am going to a place in my stories and on my feed, I always will geotag the location so people can click on it. Or sometimes it'll show up in like that city's stories so people can view it that are searching that city as well. But if I'm posting on my feed, I'll usually include hashtags that relate to where I am or what I'm doing so people can search that way as well. So I think it's really important to always tag where you are and then always use hashtags.
Okay, so and I think I could sit and watch this Hawaii feed all day. I think it brings back a lot of memories. Pineapple's awful. I'm allergic to it though. Um, oh, I think we may have lost Sarah there. We'll get her back here in a second. One of the things that when you're dealing with network marketing, is you need to be able to create a conversation. And the best way to do that is to have a little bit of a curiosity factor to it, have a little bit of a how do you want to say, a reason for them to be able to search you up. And I think having a professional profile and really having a well thought out social media platform is going to give you the ability to create a reason for them to want to contact you. And so just imagine if are you back, Sarah? Sarah, are you back with
Yes,
us?
sorry
Okay.
about that.
No problem. And so I was just
Yes.
talking about how having an organized platform in our industry really creates a way for someone to, when they search you out and they see you, they know you're a professional. They know that you're not just, that you're not in it just because, but it's a way, especially when you tag the Shoreline Hotel, and other people want to come look at your profile because they happen to see that you were there, that having an organized professional platform is a great way to gain followers and create contacts and have conversation versus
Yes.
being disorganized and everything else that goes along with a bad profile. And so if you want to up your lead generation conversation game, be more thoughtful in your social media posts.
I think that's really important because I don't know, being thoughtful and then kind of thinking about what you're going to post, it'll just enhance your story, enhance what you're trying to say, and people will really resonate with that.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing. I think it's just resonate. And create conversations. And you will attract. I mean, if you look at your profile, we can stop teasing people with Hawaii stuff. But if you look at your profile and you just go down through all your pictures, this here screams to me. I'm a mom. I'm a proud mom. I like fashion. I like to be trendy. I like to be. I'm thoughtful in my posts. This profile just screams that younger demographic. That I don't know if it's a window when Sarah we lost her again. When she gets back, we'll find out what her demographic that she's really going after is. And so Sarah, I was talking about your profile, and it screams demographic. Do you have a set demographic that you're really after in your profile?
Yes, I would say, between the ages of like 20 and 35. And then I would say moms, people who like fashion, those are the people who I really relate to and kind of try to market to.
Right. And so in network marketing, you can appeal to everybody, but your
Hmm.
profile is not going to appeal to everybody because
Yes.
younger people are going to go, I don't like to see, retirement pictures because that's not who I am, or, I'm not thinking that way right now. And retirement people don't like to see necessarily your profile because, oh, that's really great. It's really beautiful, but it's not really helping me in my life
Yeah.
because I'm a baby boomer. I'm a grandparent. I'm at a different point in my life. And so I
Hmm.
think being very thoughtful and very strategic in who you are as a person. Now, I don't think there's a correct answer there's not a format for everybody, but who you are, your personality, and think about how do I create that platform or that strategy, if you will, that
Hmm.
allows me to let my personality come through, but really hone in on the people that are going to be attracted to me and like me, right? And
Yes.
so I want people to really think about that because I think that's a very important thing for them to be able to do. Um, Sarah, we've covered a lot of things today. What do you have two or three really big social media hacks that you use or that you'd like to share?
One thing that I feel like that will be helpful is I know everyone is trying to really grow their following and expand their audience. So one thing that I have found that really helps is when you post a photo.
Oh, did we lose her? Right in mid sentence. Oh, there you are. You're
To
back.
go,
When you
oh,
we heard when you post a
yes, I'm
photo
here. Sorry.
when you post a photo and then we lost you for a second.
Okay, so when you post a photo, if you include hashtags in the caption or in the comments, go into those hashtags that you use and engage with people's photos. Leave a genuine comment, like their photo, like a few of their things, because then it'll drive traffic. And
Okay,
that
so
is
are you back? Well, we got a bad connection today. So apologize for that, everybody. But that was a great tip because one of the things what she was saying was go in and comment and like photos of other hashtags because that's the like picture or the like category or whatever. That'll drive traffic back to your page, into your post, and so it's an organic way to spend a little bit of time. I'd like to ask Sarah how much time she actually spends doing that. Spend a little bit of time going over that, and I don't. She doesn't spend hours a day doing it. It's just 10, 15 minutes probably, and just helping drive that traffic to help gain that cost. Sarah, how long do you spend a day or a week or whatever going into that strategy of going into somebody else going to a hashtag, finding a post, genuinely comment to drive traffic back to your page. How much time do you spend doing that on a weekly basis?
So what I usually try to do is if I am posting a photo, it is the best time to do it is right after you post. So I usually take like maybe 15, 20 minutes and go engage with other people and comment just to try and drive traffic to my page. But it also helps your post so more people will see it and it'll boost it. So I would say if you're going to be posting, spend like 15 to 20 minutes, half hour if you want, just kind of engaging with other people and different hashtags, posts, stories, because it's really going to pay off.
So I just randomly clicked on one of your posts, and how many hashtags do you use on a typical post?
So I usually put them in my comments, and I would say I try to use as many as possible because it's only going to help.
Because I think you can use them. You can use 30 on Instagram, right?
Hmm.
So I think you go up to 30. I know there's hashtag builders out there, that kind of thing, where you can really like they kind of generate the hashtags for you. I don't know how
Yes.
that exactly works, but I do know that they're out there to help you do that. But that's a great way.
Hmm.
Okay, so engaging on other people's hashtags to create traffic back to your site is a great way to do it, and create traffic, because it's all about traffic.
Yes.
Our industry is all about conversations and traffic, and it's a numbers game, and you have to generate more. That's hack number one. What's another hack that you can really share with people that they can implement?
Um, I would say when it comes to stories, one thing that has been a game changer for me, it's an app that you can download. It's called Mojo, and I feel like it would be very helpful, especially in the network marketing. You can create videos with it. They look so professional and almost like you hired a graphic designer to make them. So that, and then you can use Canva as well. I know that's I use a lot of story templates on Canva to post onto my.
Right. Yeah. Canva. There's a free aspect to it, but there's also paid stuff as well. All the overlays, everything that I do, I use Canva. I've never used Mojo. I'm not a social influencer though. The Once we get Sarah back, I want to ask her how, um, if video is more engaging. Sarah, are you with us? Nope, not yet. I ask her if video is more engaging than a straight post on social media, and the differences there. Should he be doing exclusively one or mixing it up or whatever? So one of the big things, the big takeaway, if you're still with us today, is make sure that you're thoughtful and you're thinking about how you post in network marketing, because that is going to drive your base, what conversations are going to happen, if it's going to grow, are people going to be authentically attracted to you. So you need to be more strategic about that. Sarah, do you use a lot of video in your feeds, outside of your stories? Or are you just more of a still person with a caption?
So I usually do just a regular photo. If I do use a video or like an animation, I'll use it in the swipe over feature a lot of times just because I just like to keep my feed just pictures. But
Okay.
I think videos or adding something moving in your feed is a great way to kind of keep people's attention on your feed because that's the whole point of Instagram. You want people to stop scrolling and look at your photos or what you have.
Right. All right. So, Sarah, I can't thank you enough for the time that you spent with us today. I would love to have you back on sometime,
Well,
because
yes, of course. Thanks for having
there's
me.
so much to talk about social media, and I think we could really get into some more detail on things, really help people to understand how to post and where that can take them. But we always end Leadership Live asking five stupid random questions,
Okay.
and sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're just complete ducks and bombs. But um, the number one, Instagram or Facebook, which one is better?
I say Instagram because I use it more.
Okay. Who is your favorite Instagram follower? I mean, or follow. Who do you like to follow? Who's like your idol on Instagram that you follow?
Oh, there is this girl who's really good at graphic design and Photoshop. Her name is the Grace Matei, and I think she's brilliant. So I really like to follow her.
Okay. Do you have any recommended people to follow that people that are watching the show in network marketing would say, you know what, that'd be a good benefit for them to follow because they're going to get strategy or they're going to get you know uh, content or some technical abilities to be able to be a better poster.
One of my favorite people to follow for strategy and information is her name is Jenna Kutcher. She is amazing and brilliant when it comes to Instagram.
She's out of Duluth, Minnesota, isn't she?
I think so.
Yeah, that's not too far from me.
That's
Um,
awesome.
all right, so where's the most amazing place that you've ever taken an Instagram photo?
I would say Hawaii. I love Hawaii, but the sunsets, everything there is
So, but is there one place in Hawaii you're like I got to go back and get that picture?
Sunset Beach at
Sunset Beach.
sunset.
Okay, up at Haleiwa up
For
there
sure.
on the
Yes, so
pipeline.
good.
Yeah, that is a nice place. So, it's hard to tell from your blog or from your Instagram account, but would you rather be shopping or at the beach?
The beach.
Shopping at the beach would be the ideal
That would be
world.
ideal. That would be in a perfect world.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Everybody out there, you need to follow Pretty Penny Girl. What's up with the name, Pretty Penny Girl?
So when I originally started my blog, I was sharing things that you could find that were super cute, that were almost like dupes for high-end things, but you didn't have to spend. So
There you go. All
came
right,
from.
so make sure you go over there and follow Pretty Penny Girl. Follow Sarah. You can learn a lot from just watching how she posts and just think about the strategy behind it. That's all you have to do, and you'd be like, oh, that makes sense why she does that kind of stuff. So with that, make sure you mash the like and the heart button. Forget the like, just mash the heart button today for Sarah. And thank you for coming on and being part of Leaders Chat Live. And I hope if you're watching today that you got a good grasp of how maybe you can be improving your social media game a little bit. So, Sarah, with that, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you again.
All right, everybody. Super excited about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties that we did have. Sometimes the internet is what it is. Make sure that you go over to or you type chat if you haven't done that yet in the comments to be added to our face or to our messenger bot, and then go over to YouTube at Leaders Chat Live and follow there because this conversation will be posted there. Everything that we do is going to be posted over there, and some stuff that's not going to be done on Leadership Live will be posted over there. So make sure you go over to YouTube. So with that, everybody, I want to thank you, and we'll be back live real soon. Have a great day.